Kuala Lumpur, 1997. Two best friends from opposite sides of Buenos Aires embrace with gold medals around their necks. Riquelme from Boca, Aimar from River. The eternal enemies united by genius. This is one of those moments. Every football generation has its defining moment. For Riquelme and Pablito Aimar, it came at 18. Malaysia's humidity couldn't touch them. While other teenagers were figuring out life, they were rewriting football's future. Juan Román from Boca Juniors, the boy who thought in slow motion but saw everything. Pablo from River Plate, the poetry wrapped in football boots. They were perfect for the same position, like two Stradivarius violins in an orchestra with one chair. They celebrated together. What they didn't know was that it would be the last time. Valencia, January 2001. Pablo Aimar becomes the most expensive Argentine teenager in history. $13 million for River's magician. The Mestalla falls in love instantly. This isn't just a player. This is poetry with a passport. Every touch whispers secrets. Every pass rewrites possibilities. Barcelona, 2002. Finally, Riquelme's moment arrives. 11 million to the Camp Nou, the dream of every South American boy. Instead, he finds Luis van Gaal, waiting like a headmaster with a ruler. Van Gaal looks and sees a problem to solve. "You play left wing," he announces. Left wing.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
To a man whose entire existence was built around being the center of everything. While Aimar dances freely at Valencia, creating magic with every step, Riquelme is caged at Barcelona. The cruel irony. 200 kilometers apart, one friend is flying while the other is drowning. By late 2002, the Camp Nou had grown used to uneasy nights. Matches that ended in frustration more often than triumph. The rhythm was broken. A win here, a loss there, never enough to feel alive again. Van Gaal is dismissed in January, but the damage is done. Riquelme's confidence is shattered, his spirit broken. The boy who never doubted himself now questions everything. Villarreal. Population, smaller than a Premier League stadium. Ambition, infinite. When Riquelme arrived in 2003, the locals thought they'd signed a broken man. What they got was a man set free. Manuel Pellegrini's first words weren't tactical instructions or positional demands. They were simpler. Show us who you are. What happened next was simply Juan Román Riquelme touch. The football world watched in amazement. Here was a man playing an entirely different sport. One that moved more slowly and deliberately, but was infinitely more beautiful. While others ran themselves into exhaustion, Riquelme made the ball do all the work. Barcelona had discarded a Picasso, calling him worthless. Villarreal, however, simply hung him in their gallery and watched the world come to admire him. Germany, 2006, the world is watching. Peckerman has to choose Riquelme or Aimar. In the end, he chooses both. Riquelme starts. Aimar watches.
En el 2002 estaba Sebastián y en el 2006 estaba Román en mi posición. Entonces, en algún momento jugamos juntos y compartimos, pero sí, no es fácil ser titular en la selección argentina.
History will remember Riquelme's World Cup. History will forget what Aimar might have done. Some ghosts are more beautiful than the stories we tell. After Germany, their paths diverged like two rivers flowing toward different seas. Riquelme returned to his true love, Boca Juniors. The Bombonera welcomed him like a prodigal son. Every perfect pass was a gentle reminder to Europe of what they'd lost. He became what every number 10 dreams of being, irreplaceable. But even retirement couldn't separate him from Boca. Today, he sits as the club's president. The boy who once orchestrated attacks now orchestrates an entire institution. Aimar tried to recapture the Valencia magic, first at Zaragoza, then Benfica. Wherever he goes, people adore him, and his football remains unforgettable in the memory of all the clubs he has played for. Finally back home at River Plate. But his body was sending different messages now. Those ankles that once danced were constantly reminding him that even the most beautiful instruments need rest. Each injury was another chapter in a story that was slowly reaching its end. Yet, something magical happened. While Riquelme was building his legacy at Boca, Aimar was collecting wisdom. He joined Argentina's coaching staff, working quietly in the shadows. And in 2022, 25 years after that golden summer in Malaysia, he stood on the Lusail Stadium pitch holding the World Cup. Not as a player, but as assistant coach to his old U20 teammate Lionel Scaloni. Football moved on without them. It always does. Press higher, run faster, track back, close down. You can get a glimpse of this in my previous video. The poetry was being edited out, line by line, until all that remained was prose. But their influence lived on in unexpected ways. Both Riquelme and Aimar became idols to a young boy from Rosario named Lionel Messi. And perhaps the most beautiful revenge came 20 years later. Qatar 2022. Argentina versus Holland. When Messi ran towards the Dutch bench and cupped his hands around his ears, looking directly at Netherlands manager Louis van Gaal. Pure defiance. Every Argentine recognized it instantly. That was Riquelme's celebration, the same one Van Gaal had tried to destroy. The student had found the perfect way to honor his teacher and silence his tormentor. Riquelme and Aimar were the bridge between Maradona's madness and Messi's precision. Two of the last pure number 10s in a world that decided it didn't need purity anymore. We have Mbappe's speed now, Haaland's power, De Bruyne's engine. What we lost was the pause. The moment when time stopped and one man decided the fate of 21 others. The perfect pass that could split a defense. Yet, football is so surprising that the shadows of Juan, Román, Riquelme, and Pablito Aimar still dance across the pitch. You can see it in the sublime technical moves of a new generation, for example, in the elegance of Ryan Cherki, the flair of Isco, the cleverness of Cole Palmer, the vision of Florian Wirtz, the grace of Pedri, and the unstoppable penetrating force of Vinicius Jr. Riquelme and Aimar weren't just players, they were the last keepers of football's most sacred secret. Two childhood friends, two different endings. One became president of his beloved club, the other became a World Cup winning coach. Both were exactly what football needed them to be. Two friends, one position, two of the last magicians of football. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, leave me a comment, and take a look at the previous videos.